the celestial eye. Each one of our thoughts, words, and acts are photographed at once in their correlative forms and colors on the great screen of Akasha, and there they remain till the end of time. That is the end of this earth. This earth's life is 4.32 billion years. 2 billion years have elapsed. So from the start of this earth, whatever actions man has made, both Manasa, Vacha, Kaya, all those actions are recorded in the Akashic record. It is a huge library. And this record can be retrieved by a spiritual person who has attained Samadhi. So, the Puranas give the name of Chitragupta to the energy that impresses the above on the pages of this nature book. He is a keeper of Akashic records and reads from them the good and evil deeds, words, and thoughts of beings when they stand face to face with Yama, the dispenser of karmic justice. Modern science has come to the same conclusion. Ether cannot merely be like a fluid poured into vacant spaces and insecticides of the material world and exercising no action on objects. It must affect the physical, chemical, and vital powers of what it touches. It must be a great and active agent in the work of the universe, as well as an active reporter of what is done by other agents. ಇದು ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇವಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಗುರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾನು ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ಅಸ್ಟ್ರಾಲಜಿಕಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ನನಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ತಂದೆ ಯಾರಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ಮ ತಾಯಿನ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರು. ಆದರೆ ನಾನು ಆವಾಗ ಕೇಳಿದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಅವ್ರವ್ರ ಗೋತ್ರ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಆವಾಗ ನಾನು ಕೇಳಿದೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಗುರುನ, ಸರ್ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ನೋ ಮೈ ಗೋತ್ರ ವಾಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್. ಅವರು ನೋಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನನ್ನ ಫಾರ್ ಅ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಭಾರದ್ವಾಜ ಗೋತ್ರ ಅಂದೆ. ಸರ್ ನಾನು ಹೌ ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಆವಾಗ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ನೀವು ಆಕಾಶಿಗೆ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಯಾವಾಗ ಈ ಭೂಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಆತ್ಮ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ನೋ ಆವಾಗಿಂದ ಈ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ತನಕ ನಂದು ಅವ್ರು ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಅದು ಹಿಂದ್ಗಡೆ ಇಟ್ ರ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್. ಸೊ ಅದರಿಂದ ನಾನೇನು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ನೋ ಅದನ್ನ ತೆಗೆದು ನಾನು ಕೊಟ್ಟರು. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಆಕಾಶಿಕ್ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್. Seems the photographic influence pervades all nature. We do not know, but it may print upon the world around us our features as they are modified by various fashions, and thus fill nature with photographic impressions of all activities. It may be true that there are tests by which nature, more skillful than any photographer, can bring out and fix these portraits so that acuter senses than ours shall see them as upon a great canvas. It is like a camera. It catches the photograph of the thoughts you do or you do practically. All the three ways, Manasa, Vacha, Kaya. The air is one that library on whose pages are forever written all that men have ever said or women whispered. Every thought displaces particles of brain and sets them in motion and scatters them throughout the universe. Thus, each particle of the existing matter should be a register of all that has happened. A shadow never falls upon a wall without leaving thereupon a permanent trace, a trace which might be made visible by resorting to proper processes. Photographic operations are cases in point. The portraits of our friends or landscape views may be hidden on the sensitive surface from the eye, but they are made ready to make their appearances as soon as proper developers are resorted to. A spectre is concealed on the silver or glassy surface until by our processing we make it come forth into the visible world. Upon the walls of our most private apartments, where we think the eye of intrusion is altogether shut out and our retirement can never be profound, there exist the vestiges of all our acts, silhouettes of whatever we have done. ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು ರೂಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ತಪ್ಪು. ಈ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ ಭಗವಂತ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ನೀವೆಲ್ಲೇ ಏನೇ ಮಾಡಿ, ವೆದರ್ ಇನ್ ಓಪನ್ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಡೋರ್ಸ್, ಇಟ್ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಆಕಾಶ್. So nothing is secret. as per nature.
Okay.
It is a scientific fact founded upon the law of action and reaction. There exists a mutual and reciprocal action of things upon one another. Thus, if a body fails to earth, the later reacts upon it and stops it or throws it back. If sulfuric acid is poured on limestone, it acts on the stone and the later reacts on the acid, thus forming a new compound. Again, if light falls on the solid body, the body reacts on the light, which it sends back to the eye along with an image of itself. From this established principle of science, it follows that every impression that man makes upon ether, air, water, or earth by means of his aura, whenever he acts or thinks, must produce a series of changes in each of these elements. Thus, the word which leaves the mouth causes pulsations or waves in the air and then expands in every direction. The water retain traces of every disturbance, as for instance, where ships across the sea, the earth too is tenacious of every impression man makes upon it. The emanations of aura, which are thus pictured on nature, are no doubt exceedingly subtle, but they are not therefore less definite or less perceptible as objects of vision than grossier particles of matter. Although it cannot be denied that, owing to the great subtlety of aura, it needs a very superior power of analysis to follow and discern its colors and read the character of the actions producing the variously colored emanations. Nevertheless, as all these phenomena are due to physical laws, their analysis must be within the reach of human beings under certain conditions. The science of psychometry recognizes that all things radiate their characters upon all the surrounding objects, so that any sensitive person can see and describe them minutely. When such a person, technically called the psychometer, sees any object or any substance placed before him, he comes in contact with the current of the astral light connected with the object or specimen, which retains pictures of scenes and events associated with its history, but then passes before him the swiftness of light, scene after scene, each crowding upon the other so rapidly that it is only by great exercise of will that he is able to hold any one scene in the field of vision long enough to describe it. Nature does not work without instruments, nor does it violate in one department those general laws which it follows in others. A human being must have special organs for special operations of the mind, as truly as for walking or speaking, and no vision therefore is possible without a grade of light adapting to that eye. The question is whether man possesses such an eye and whether there is light adapted to it for the purpose of discerning the minute emanations of aura and reading the character of actions represented by them. Man has another finer and quite different eye besides the two other ones, and nature furnishes the light necessary for the exercise of this inner faculty. Man sees gross objects through his gross eyes coming into contact with the gross rays of the sun, and he sees subtle objects with his subtle eye coming into contact with the subtle rays of the sun, the vehicle of light from the sun of man being in either case the universal ether, which is most suitable and most luminous. So what we see in the physical eye is different. What we see in our third eye is the subtle thing. For both sun rays is a medium for us. This fact ought not to be ignored simply because ordinary people do not know that they are possessed with such a faculty as that of which we are speaking. That is third eye. Adu Bhurumadhyadalli.
Okay.
That is the seat of our spiritual sadhana also. As regards man's other faculty of vision, let us call to mind the well-known fact that it is not equality developed in all alike, and that it is moreover liable to be affected by various causes such as distance and nearness, grossness and minuteness, confusion and concealments, inattention and predominance of other matter.